Hey guys, it's your girl Delia with PhilaDehliaEagles.com, and I wanted to come in here kind of randomly because I feel it's time for me to address the whole Greg Hardy situation on a real and just kind of honest um, level. I'm a female, very, into the NFL and the sports world. Um, I thought, I should kind of share my voice, my opinion, my perspective on this. And I know normally I'm very lighthearted, very just kind of fun, and just not, I don't like to focus on the negatives, right? I'm a very positive, optimistic person. But, this is another case against women that is just kind of blowing up in the NFL's face. And I don't really talk about it, but here I wanted to give you kind of my honest, candid, opinions that I haven't really thought out. So this is just going to be kind of, my real reaction as a female in sports and as an Eagles fan who, naturally just hates this team, the Dallas Cowboys. So, where do I begin? So Greg Hardy, as we know, was accused of domestic abuse with his girlfriend or fiance, his significant other. And it eventually got dropped. She settled. But what really stood out in the report that recently got released by Deadspin this week is that she was scared to tell the police. Because she knew, she outright said they're not going to do anything. He's going to get away with it. And, seeing that, reading that is such a sad story, and to see where he's at right now, where he literally did get away with it. He was able to throw money at it. He was able to, since he's so talented, a team like the Dallas Cowboys was able to overlook, his personality issues. And you know what? I get it. People aren't perfect, right? You and I, we are human beings and we all have flaws. And we all have been there where we've made a poor decision that now, as we're older, wiser, we would change. And I'm not someone that likes to hold people accountable for their mistakes if they learn from them. Now, being an Eagles fan and talking about Greg Hardy, of course, the first thing that people say is they talk about Michael Vick, they'll talk about Riley Cooper, which I want to make it clear that these situations are very different. I will never condone a player and their bad behavior. When Michael Vick signed, I never condoned what he did, but I will address that, people in their lives make mistakes, whether it's their personal choice, whether it's the influence of the wrong people around them. We've all been there. We're flawed human beings. That's just a natural process where you have to learn, and you learn by making mistakes. So in Michael Vick's case, it was a huge one, and he served his time. And what I look at is I don't excuse what he did, but I will look at what has he done since. And if he repeats or gets anywhere near repeating that type of behavior, it doesn't have to be as extreme, but in a sense, I look at him as being on parole. He has to be better than everyone else. If he slightly messes up, well, we're going to get on him for that because he has lost that right for us to be lenient with bad behavior. And same goes with any other player in the NFL. I don't care if it's on the Eagles or other teams. The Greg Hardy situation, I would look at it differently if he wasn't still exhibiting the same bad behavior and not seeming remorseful and not showing that he's learned from his bad behaviors. And the examples that I'm going to give, they're all within this season after he's already been, suspended and accused of the domestic violence. And so what we're seeing, his first game back, when talking to the media, he's just not careful with what he's saying. He's not thinking about what he's saying. And someone who has this type of spotlight in such a negative way, you really need to focus and prepare yourself to be a better person, because that's what the situation you put yourself in. And if you're not making those efforts to be better, and if your first thing you're doing is going to the media talking about guns blazing when you had just been accused of throwing your girlfriend onto a bed of guns and threatening to kill her, that's not how you should be coming out into the NFL to the media. Honestly, I think you should just stay quiet and remove yourself from those situations and not get caught saying the wrong thing. So that's one thing. But also, he was talking about Tom Brady's wife. Again, kind of demeaning behavior towards women. But what really kind of just showed me that his behavior he has a serious issue is when that video footage came of him, having that physical confrontation with a coach. Okay, how many times do you see a player physically slapping, shoving a coach? You don't. And the fact that he's doing that with his kind of track record of physical violence and getting in fights, whether it's at training camp or after a game with a player or a coach, that tells me there's a huge problem. And the biggest problem here is, so Greg Hardy, he can't control his behavior. He needs help in order to do that. And the problem is the Dallas Cowboys, they aren't helping. They are allowing him to do this, and they are defending this bad behavior. And that's the problem. When a player has an issue or they do something bad, they need to be held accountable. They need to be disciplined. If they don't get disciplined, how are they going to learn? They need psychological counseling and help. But what the Cowboys are doing is, instead, after exhibiting this behavior, they're calling him a leader. They are praising him. So, it's like a toddler. Think of a 3-year-old. If they throw tantrums, and right afterwards you give them candy and you reward them and give them a pat on the back, well, what are they going to do? They're going to keep throwing tantrums because they get the results they want still. But if you punish that toddler, if you put him in timeout, or you take away, something they like, then it might change in the future. So I'm really disappointed in how the Cowboys are handling this situation. I mean, I'm not surprised, because they're known to, deal with these kind of flawed character type of players. But this Greg Hardy situation is very extreme. So that's why I wanted to address it. And I know I was listening to different kind of perspectives on it. And some people are saying they just don't want to watch the game. And me as a female, I'm not going to make it women are the victims. I'm not going to say that, because I will not be a victim. Okay? I choose to see the situation, recognize it, express my opinions, and maybe show a way to improve it or to change it. Now, some people are choosing not to watch the game. Me, I love my Philadelphia Eagles. I love watching on game day. I'm not going to let this situation control my happiness and what I do, but action does need to be taken. And I think Chris Kluwe was a perfect example of what needs to be done. He sent out some tweets, very just strong tweets about this situation, where he was just disgusted at this whole Greg Hardy situation, and he gave us a solution. And that's what we should be doing, finding a solution to fix this problem. And it's not going to be not watching our football teams, the game we love. It's going to be calling the people that are perpetuating this. And who's perpetuating this right now? Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. So what Chris Kluwe did was he tweeted out the Dallas Cowboys PR number. And he also tweeted out a few other contacts, their sponsor, AT&T. Okay, so how do you get a team to change? Well, they're motivated by money. That's how you hurt them. That's how you get them to actually pay attention. So if you're flooding their lines with complaints about, the example they're leading within the NFL, if you call their sponsor with your discontent with the brand, and them associating themselves with a brand that allows this type of behavior, then you know what? You're hitting their pocketbooks. You're hitting their phone lines. You're affecting the way their business is operated, and that will get them to maybe change what they're doing. So I'm going to put the numbers here that you can call and in the description below, because I really do think this is the only way to get their attention. And we have the power. And like I said, being a female, having all these issues happen within the NFL, I won't be a victim. I will take control in my own way. One, by voicing my opinion, letting you guys know how I feel, giving my perspective on it, but also giving you tools to maybe change what's going on right now. So this is kind of my 2 cents on it. I know it's kind of just this like rambling type of rant thing, but I would love to hear your opinions. Again, don't be that fan that defends bad behavior. Okay? I've never defended bad behavior. I've never defended what Michael Vick did, never defended what Cooper did. I don't do that. That's where fans go wrong. When they start defending it, then there's a problem. Recognize what Greg Hardy did was wrong, but you can still love your team. I'm not saying don't be a Cowboys fan, but recognize what this individual player did was wrong and don't accept it. And don't try and push defense to other people because they're not going to get it. They shouldn't, because you have a flawed argument. So, yeah, I'm rambling. So I'm just getting ready for a game day. I'm ready to watch my Birds take this team down. This game has become more than just the divisional rivalry. It's bigger than that. One more thing, I do want to recognize WIP Radio. This week, in light of the whole situation, they chose to raise money for domestic violence. They donated it to, I believe, a shelter out there in Texas, and I think this is a great approach. I did want to make sure people are aware of that, because Eagles fans are doing great things, and fans are doing great things. It's just, a few individuals that bring everything else down, So, yeah, that's it. It's your girl Dehlia with PhilaDehliaEagles.com signing off. EAGLES, Eagles!